So we'll get into the nitty-gritty now of creating what's called a list email. It's called a list email because you're sending it to a list. So it's probably as you think of just a weekly or monthly email send. We just, again, want to kind of educate you on the Pardot terminology, that this is considered a list email. So we'll jump in now, and this is where we're going to find that chapter template and apply it to this list email. So if we jump back over to our marketing tab, again, in general, this is where we're going to be doing most of our different pieces. We see the emails section, new list email. So this is where, you can see there is I'll navigate back here, drafts, that's something that's already in progress that you're already working on. Scheduled, maybe I'm planning to send this tomorrow. I've already clicked schedule, but I found a typo and I want to actually go back to it. That's your scheduled, your sent. I want to see what I sent last week. Those are going to be the top three are going to be the most relevant for now. And then down here, new list email. So don't worry about email templates, but new list email is going to be a big piece of what we're working on. So as we're going to create our new list email, we'll have some directions as well for, again, a naming convention for your chapter. So I'll actually just copy this over so we can use this example here. But the naming convention we'd like you all to use is the chapter code, chapter name.
Number.
Oh, chapter number, sorry, yes. Well, is the code the number? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so chapter code, chapter name, dash email type. So maybe you have a weekly or monthly, and then the date. And this hopefully will help just be very clear because it can be helpful. You might say, I really liked what I did with that email. Let me clone it and make a copy to use it next week. So again, the tag in the naming convention is to help you all out and to pick your folder as well, to keep all of your assets in one spot. So if this is our example code, I'm going to say dash sample email. I can type here. And the date is 10 March 2020. So our tag, this is 3205 first militia. So they will always be lowercase. They don't let you do capitals in tagging. Your tag should already be in there. And so you can select your tag. And this is, again, just another way for you to help find grouping. Same thing with folders. You'll see that chapter folder there. Oh, let me go to the chapter folders. Search for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 3205.
3205. There it is. Mm-hmm. Okay. Choose selected. Campaign. Again, campaign, we're going to just pick our chapter generic. So that is what we'll choose there. There are two email types. There is the HTML and text email. So if you think of a traditional marketing type email with a banner and with images, that will be an HTML email. A text email will only be text. So it's possible every once in a while you would want only a text email with just a couple sentences, but I would think the vast majority of the time the HTML and text is the option you'd like to select. It is the default option, which is great. Operational email, it's very unlikely you'll select this. This you'll see, it will flag this for you. This is, the big piece here is this means people don't have to include that unsubscribe. So as an organization, AUSA has asked us to turn this on, but I don't expect you all would be using this. So I would plan to not use this and plan to check with Gwen and Stan if you're interested in using this before sending this out. But I would expect to not turn that on right now. And then at this point, we're not going to, more advanced training will be on A/B testing, but for now, I would not check either of these bottom two. So if we click save, the next screen it'll bring us to is choosing our templates. Once again, it'll be where you see a lot of templates, but we can filter it down. So as we just type in chapters, basic, you can see here, You can see Stan's here too, chapter leaders news you can use, but this is the starting template. And so there will, as Stan mentioned, the plan is to have many more, some more template options for you all, but for today, this is the template available. And what you're doing is applying this template to your email. And then when you make changes, the changes will be on your list email. The template's going to stay the same. So you're not actually editing the template. You click apply, and this is where you get into building your email. So you can see right away, this is where we see the subject line. Maybe I want to say, 3205 monthly email, whatever we want that subject line to be. We want to, when we double click here, this is where we can build out what we're actually working on. So the content editor, you can drag this over. I find it helpful to have a little more space over here. And this is where when you click in, you can actually jump in and start to make changes. So you can say, this week, here, fortune, whatever you need, you can drop in different pieces. As we add more templates, there'll be more options for updating images and things like that. Save along the way, so there's not, it's not necessarily going to auto save. So that's a key piece as well as you make your edits.
One thing, everybody, I'd like to mention is that I know many of you like to pre-type up your message in a Word document or an email, and then you can just go ahead and cut and paste that text over into the text box. But one of the most important things that I learned in using News You Can Use is that you can activate the links, so in a Word document. So you can marry up the links for the offsite, other places you want people to go. And then when you cut and paste the Word document text over, it brings the links over, so you don't have to redo them.
Great.
And it's a great feature.
That's great. So if I did want to just add it here, it should be hopefully a similar interface to others you've used. You can add a link here directly as well if you want a hyperlink directly in there. But that's a great tip, is to go ahead and use Word to get everything the way you'd like it. You can see first name is here. We can add other variable tags. So say we want last name in there. It will help direct you for the right naming. And so this is where testing is so important, but it likely will flag it for you, whether it's the system will flag it if the variable tag is incorrect. So say I misspelled first, it actually will flag it for me and say, we found this tag and this looks wrong. It's not going to catch 100% of things. Maybe you forgot any parentheses, they might not catch that, but the system does catch some pieces, so tries to kind of guide you along the way. So,
and I know that for many of you, you don't use this feature. You won't put dear so-and-so. You may not even have that, but it's available to you if you want to use it.
Absolutely. You can just have, something different. There's tons of flexibility on that. I'll actually add that back, because as we preview pieces, I want to make sure just to share with you a couple pieces there. This second tab here in the building feature is the straight HTML. The goal is the template and the editor to help you not have to do anything here, but it is here just to let you know the full HTML. Previewing as a prospect, this is nice if you just want to gut check to make sure things are pulling in as you'd like to be seen. So we can see Andrew Hopkins here. He says, good afternoon, Andrew. So a nice way to see, great for an individual prospect, very quickly at a glance, what does this look like for that person? This is where too, as it's a new system, probably good if you are going to use that first name to check your list of prospects to make sure the first names look correct. If a first name gets uploaded to the system with all capitals, that's what will be sent. It'll say, hi, Andrew, in all capitals. So having the data in the system be accurate will be important for this feature working as you'd like it to. This is the text version of the email, and you do need to do something. You need to sync from the HTML because you make those text changes on the editor tab. When you sync from the HTML, it matches the content. So click this after you've gone through the whole editing. The system will flag for you if they notice the two are off, but a good thing to keep in mind. And then you can delete some spaces if you'd like. I know with .mil, there are a fair number of people who do receive the text version. So for you all in particular, it may be a little more relevant to keep an eye on this compared to some other industries.
So make sure that when you're preparing your email messages, that you don't forget to go in here and edit the text version and build in a little time. It's going to take you about 5 minutes to kind of go through, if you have a little bit longer message, and edit it out, but it's worth the time and effort, and you can get it to look really nice. But that sync from HTML, that was something that's very key. Click that button first before you do any editing in the text version.
And what's nice is there are a couple, this is why testing is so important. So if you happen to forget to do that, when you send proof emails to your test list, so I know I saw there was the Arsenal internal test list. This will send you 2 emails. It will send you one HTML version and one text version. So as you're proofing, it doesn't mean that the final send would send 2 emails, but they want you to see both versions of that email. We highly recommend using the test list because it will pull in your full information. So again, if you use a variable tag like first name, it will pull in based on the information in the system. If you send to individual emails, this is fine, but it will not populate variable tags. So it is concerning to see high first name, but just a heads up, if you were to use this version, that is what would happen there. Rendering allows you to see, it takes some time. We might need to come back to this towards a little later in the presentation, but this is actually going to show you what it looks like on different versions of iPhone, in Outlook, in Google, and so the goal, this will actually show you what it looks like on different pieces. So the templates are set up to be responsive, meaning it should adjust to a cell phone versus a tablet versus a desktop, but this will help you really see that. Get that full picture on the different options. Any questions about testing?
So this is where this is our chance to make sure that we have it right. And so this is your best friend. Make sure you send it to yourself, and then you can go back and make any corrections if something looks off. But and it happens fairly quickly. When you send the message to yourself, it may take 30 seconds or something, but it comes through, and you can sending it to more than one person may be a good idea. Like Jess, with you and Tammy and Christine, if you have multiple Pardot users in your chapter, you might want to not just send it to yourself.
Any questions on those testing options? Is that similar to how it was in Magnet Mail? Is this a pretty similar functionality?
Yeah, you could send, in Magnet Mail, you could send it to an individual person.
Okay.
And check the email out. Mm-hmm. But the difference here is that in Magnet Mail, you couldn't send the same message to the same person more than once. So it would block you.
After one send.
Yeah,
okay.
after one send. Where here you can just send it and this doesn't count against you.
Definitely, yeah, you can send as many times as you need to.